So, okay, so if you didn't know this, because you know I researched everything, I am a constant learner. That's just who I am as a person. So when you know, what happens is your body tenses, like all of your muscles tense, everything tenses. And for women, what happens is you literally go, like they say, deaf, dumb, and blind. Like you literally lose sense of your sight and everything. And Camille, you might talk about this because she talks about this in her programs. So your body tenses, like everything tenses. So your brow tenses, your mouth tenses, like your jaw, everything, it just gets tense. So when I used to say that, it was like, you know, they would have this look, but then you would get this little moment right here.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, oh God, I hate, because it's so hard to get that out in Photoshop. And my point of getting it right in the camera is to not have to do so much Photoshop because I don't want to. So what I started to say now is, okay, when you inhale, but you need to have your mouth open just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then when you exhale, you open it, but you want to take, usually that's when I say you take your hands and you go down. And now I feel real X-rated, but whatever. But you know, you take it down, and as you exhale, like you would usually lift your head, and then you just breathe through that. So you would take an inhale in maybe 4, and then exhale maybe 7. So you would take it in, and then you would just breathe out. And as you breathe out, you move your hands down. So that's how I also get them to get out of their head. Is I'm like, okay, we're going to do a count where I breathe, you breathe, we breathe together. Like, okay, so then you breathe, then I breathe. Okay, now we're going to do it again, and then you breathe, and then let's bring it down. And then as you move, your hands are moving with you. So that usually, if they're nervous, just that breathing sequence really will allow them to focus on the breath instead of focusing on me.
Mm.
So that's how she
love that. I love that. No.
Listen, you have to know. Well, basically, because I've been talking to so many sex therapists now as well for, you know, trying to, that sounded real awkward. But y'all know what I meant, okay? I've been talking to them because they're my friends.
Yeah.
But you really, like, I've learned so much about our bodies from talking to them and having them on, because I think some people don't understand that correlation between trauma and your identity, your sexual identity. And I know that generational trauma, especially for Black women, like that stuff goes down the line. And if you don't deal with it now, which I love, I see so many women going to therapy, which go to therapy. That's it. That's the message. Go to therapy. Just that, like even Reba, who is a sex therapist, was saying that even she had trouble with, you know, her body. And even we saw her, like, you know, you said she came out just titties ablazing. So like she even had trouble with her body, and she is a sex therapist. Like I would never have thought that she would have anything dealing with that, because she is, you know, this woman who deals with sex and sexuality on a daily basis. So just thinking about, you know, if she has these challenges, what does it mean for the everyday woman who's not in this field, who doesn't, like, I have body challenges, I have body issues that I deal with consistently, but I don't let them get me down. I work through them.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And it's so easy for us to say, oh, well, social media is the reason that we feel that way. And, you know, if all these people weren't online, then I would feel better. It's not their issue. It's something that you need to conquer within yourself and understand and be able to handle within yourself and realize that's not me. And that is beautiful. And I am beautiful in the way that I am, and I don't have to change to be appreciated. And if you are in a relationship where you feel that you do have to change to be appreciated, then maybe it's not the best or most healthy relationship. And and I'll leave that there. So
drop it. I'm telling you, Jasmine won't tell you. Drop that hero, drop that zero, get you a hero. I said,
absolutely. I mean, I think that there's just way too much of life to be lived. To spend time wishing that you were someone else, or to put a level of expectation over yourself that is unrealistic. I'd much rather just be happy. You know what I mean? And I've learned, I had a life-changing trip to Israel, and I learned how to do a morning gratitude, a meditation. And Yeah, and one of the things that the trip to Israel taught me, though, was that if you have extra curves or your body isn't the way you want it to be, it's not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
show gratitude instead for the meals that you've been able to have. You know what I mean? Like all the healthy meals that you've had surrounded by your friends and family at a table. Like that is something to be grateful for, as opposed to hating your stomach, right? Or hating your thighs, or feeling that you have cellulite. There's a level of appreciation there. And I've never have experienced one of my friends or thought about wishing one of my friends would come over and then thinking like, oh, but they should lose weight or change their body,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And your friends don't think the same about you. Like they
Mm-hmm.
love you for you, not for this shell, that's this temporary shell that you have. So after really putting it into perspective in that way, I would love for more women to kind of view their bodies as sacred experiences have happened
Yeah.
here. But this is just a temporary space for me. So.
And I love that you said that it's sacred. I think this year for me has been very eye-opening when I've been able to like go to different functions that just celebrate us, celebrate women, and to see how women identify with each other across everything, race, economics, like just to see the things that we deal with, but then within our community to see the things that we consistently deal with on a daily basis and how we take those things and we turn them into something beautiful.
Yes.
I think is talks about, the resiliency that we have as Black women that we need to celebrate in each other.
Yeah.
I think that's so important to celebrate that in each other, because there are times when we don't see that outside of us. So you have like, my friends hate this, but I don't care. So when I'm walking and I see I don't care what you have on, I will be the loudest, like, yes, sis, go ahead with the earrings. And and my friend is like, can you not? I'm like, no, but do you see her earrings? Do you see her earrings?
Yeah.
I cannot wear that, but do you see her earrings? We have to do that for each other. Like we have
each
to
other feel special, right?
Like compliments.
Mm-hmm.
Compliments are the free one. Two, I think that sometimes we have challenges with accepting them for just as they are. Even me, I had a guy tell me like, I don't even need you to say anything. Just take it. Like just take what I'm saying to you as it is. I was like, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And sometimes we have issues with taking compliments because I guess because sometimes they don't come from a genuine place and we don't trust them. But if you start to do that every day, like not now, but if you were to go out and you see another woman and you said, I love your shoes, or just say something to any woman that you see, how it impacts your day, but it impacts their day as well.
Yeah, yeah. I actually learned as Miss DC, the best way to accept a compliment is just to say thank you.
Y'all didn't know she was Miss DC. Y'all didn't know.
Yeah, I was Miss DC. Feels like it's been a long time. Maybe I've just been in the house for a while. Hey, Jess. Hey, friends. But the best way to accept a compliment is to just say thank you and smile. And you could even have in the back of your mind, like, I wonder if that was a backhanded compliment. I wonder what that was supposed to be. Either way, the words that came out were of praise or acclaim. So just give a thank you to the universe and smile, and then just move on. And that's the number one way to accept a compliment. And whatever it is, accept it as a compliment, unless you hear otherwise. So accept it as a compliment. There's so much to embrace about the experience of turning something negative into something positive. That was really the mission behind Cherry Blossom. So a lot of people don't know this, but I lost my grandmother to breast cancer when I was in college, and it really inspired the creation of the boutique, because I remember thinking someone should have created a better experience for women who are going through breast cancer. And why haven't they? Because most women who experience breast cancer shop in medical supply stores, and they have pretty crummy experiences around it. And I remember thinking that women deserve better. And it's just kind of like one of those things that you were saying, like you can turn something that was terrible, right? Into something beautiful. And for some reason, we as women have the ability to do that. We're creators.
Multipliers.
Yes.
We are multipliers.
Multipliers, yes. And it's a beautiful thing, and we should continue to embrace it.
Yeah, we are. I think that to me, that's what true femininity is embracing that we are creatives. That's the first thing. We multiply whatever you give us. So if you give us shit, we multiply shit. I'm just gonna say
or
no,
drama or
yes.
anger. Go ahead, preach. It's fine.
Like that's what we multiply. Like whatever you give us is what we multiply. So you can't be mad if you give us something and then expect us to work with it. But it's nothing. Like if you give us 0, we multiply 0. That's just 0. Like you got to be honest with yourself. And so I think like the same thing, like you were saying, we take something and turn it into, you know, we have nothing turned it into something. I forget what the billionaire's name is. He was talking about Black women as entrepreneurs. And he was saying that Black women are the entrepreneurs that if you push them off a building, and I'm paraphrasing because that's probably not what he said, I don't remember, but they will make, he was like, they will make something out of a toothpick and like anything that they have to make something to fly, because we understand that we get limited resources, but we still make a way.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so important to really, you know, when you see other Black women who are doing the damn thing, then you give them praise for it and you tell them, like, I see you. I think that's a lot of times, like what you were saying, when the women come into your, the space and they're like, I was going to lose weight, or I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. I think a lot of times it's just, we want to be seen for who we are. And the people around us sometimes don't realize that, you know, like for like in the Black household, you know, when you go in, they're like, girl, damn, you gained some weight, huh? Like that's something that they say, that people say. And I think because of the way we deal with weight as a culture, it's different than the mainstream. So you don't really, you internalize it, but you don't realize it until you get confident. And you know, when you say, you know, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to do this, and you don't think about it.
Right. And it's become so natural and so much of a part of our daily conversation to apologize for being ourselves. Why is that? And how can we change that? You know, I really want the women who come in to feel like they're the most beautiful thing when they leave, you know, to feel like they've never felt more beautiful, sexy, empowered, confident, supported, loved on than the 30 minutes that they spend inside with us. It's so much more than just shopping. I want it to be an experience. And I feel like for you too, it's more than just taking pictures. It's creating an experience where they feel so good, and then it's captured on film how good they feel and how beautiful they are.
And I think that is, for me, I had this conversation today, like at 6. I was saying how for me, like you were saying, you were trying to figure out, you know, why didn't your grandmother have this experience? And for me, Boudoir actually saved me, because I didn't understand what I was doing. And I didn't understand myself. I didn't understand, you know, I was in a relationship from 18, I told you, from 18 to 30. So my whole experience of everything was wrapped up in us. And so having to come out of that was just like, now what? Like, what is happening now? And so I think that's why it was such a big transformation for me, and why I'm so vocal about identifying what feels good for you. And what you love about yourself, because I didn't know, like I had to take 2 years to really figure out, you know, who I was and what I wanted and what I didn't want. Oh shit, we got 30 seconds. You want to go again?
Yeah, of course.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna end this one. Y'all come back now. You're here. We'll be right back.
Join us on the next, guys.
Wow. So Jasmine just hit me to some game, because if you've been watching my lives, I am not able to go into someone else's live at all. I have to invite people into my live, because it doesn't work any other way. Now, she just told me that it's probably because I'm Shadowband, which is the reason why I probably am not able to go live. That's crazy. But it's not, because it's Instagram. You know what's crazy? Is that I had to use my mom's phone I was doing a thing with Ray, and we were doing a for what is it, Bumble BFF,
Uh-huh.
like doing something for them for their brand, and I had to use my mom's phone because I could not go live with that. I need to ask. I'm gonna see if that's the reason why. But first of all, we had 71 people on the last live,
Oh,
so
I hope they
they.
all come back. I hope they
Um,
all come back. Someone asked us to demonstrate the O face, Alicia. I'm sure for intense research purposes only.
okay, so what is you? Okay, wait. Okay, first of all, so are we talking about the open when I'm shooting or just in general? Because that's two
When
different.
you're shooting, please, only.
Okay, so
Hey, plus in the DMV.
yes, I love. Oh my goodness, I love y'all. I went to a networking event and met them. Fabulous, 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 fabulous.
They
So
hosted an event at CBI at the boutique.
are they? I will be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
I will
they
be there.
hosted one last year. Maybe we can get them come back. Hey, Jess.
I
Hey.
will definitely be there.
All right, so
So
now your demonstration. I did not forget.
I was hoping that I was going to do a little subterfuge and you were just going to be like, I was trying to do a 45 moment. I was trying to like
And get
switch
us
and bake.
distracted.
I was going to talk about some fake news stuff. So the O face is something that I used to have my past clients do to actually have a moment where they were, let me put down my bottle, where I had them do a face to really show like that sexy side of them. So what happens, I'm gonna say what happens when you are having an orgasm, your body tenses naturally. Like that's what happens. Like you can't fight it. If you fight it, I don't know, you're gonna get lockjaw or something. I don't know. But your body tenses. So as you tense, like your face does the same thing. Your jaw tenses, your brow tenses. So you get, I can't do it because I'm going to laugh. My
Don't
cheek
laugh.
hurt now because I'm laughing.
It's all friends here. All 71 friends that we had.
So what happens is like you do the like your face goes like I can't do it because I'm about to laugh. Like okay.
I can't do it because my church follows me on Instagram. So.
Listen, Camilla did a thing talking about oh my goodness, what was it? Something about pussy, something like your pussy needs to feel good with the pastor. Like she did it with a like your ass.
What?
I hope she comes back. Because I swear I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I swear it was like yesterday. I swear I'm not making it up. She did it yesterday. And they talk about like, that's what they talk about. They talk about like all the things within the church that, that
That's
go about
true.
it.
That's
like,
true. That's actually part of the conversation we were having before. I'm going to let you off the hook about the face. The part of the conversation we were having before we cut out was that, women typically have, we see so many hangups with their body, with their sexuality, and we were trying to pinpoint where it comes from. And I do think sometimes it does come from negative experiences in, the house of God. But yeah. I think your body is a temple. And I think that, sex is spiritual, like Erica's saying, absolutely. And that connection with another person is so deep and so intense that I believe that it is godlike and it is from God, especially when it's in a relationship that includes God, right? So where you're not blocking that pleasure, you don't have any shame behind it. So I'm just gonna leave that there, but I do see it so often, and I would love for women to kind of just shake that off, to kind of maybe just realize that you have this one body, this one mind, and this one spirit, and it's very temporary, and that you should not deny yourself pleasure in so many ways.
I think about it like this. There is, like I said, masculine and feminine, and the feminine side is so important because when we think about our bodies and how much pleasure we can get, God loved us best. Fight me if you want to. Because we have 8,000 nerve endings like below our waist. So, I mean, yeah, like that's how I think about it. We were the best. Like we are the best. So that's how I think about it in that way. And why would you be given these things if you cannot use them properly?
Yeah.
And that shame that comes with using them in a way that allows you to feel pleasure. Like life is not just about negativity and, trials and
Shame.
tribulations. Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's about so much more to life than that. Like life, I have on my wall in my room, other than my pictures of my own boudoir experience, biggest shit. Like they big. I'm sorry, church folks. They big as shit. I have like 3 big images of myself because that's just, I needed to see that for me every morning. Like that's what I wake up to, with a few other things. But one of the things that I have that I've had to say to myself often is, you deserve good things. Like good things are supposed to happen to you and for you. And that's something that I consistently say because we don't get to say that enough because I sometimes feel like we're supposed to struggle. Like we're supposed to
girl.
live in these spaces. And I'm like, why, girl, why?
Oh my gosh. Yes,
Like,
you're absolutely right. I'm so sick of us being the ones who have to feel some type of burden to have a difficult, hard life, who are supposed to be denied some type of physical pleasure, general pleasure in life, inside and outside of the bedroom. I don't believe that Black women should be the mule for anyone in any way going forward. From this day forward, all of you who are on this live, just deny that perspective that it has to be you who's doing all the work, physical work, mental work, emotional work within a relationship, within a home. Wow, look at all those hearts. Yes, I know y'all hear me. Don't be the mule from this day forward. Decide that you deserve better. You deserve nice things. You deserve love. You deserve positive experiences. You deserve a comfortable experience within your body. You deserve orgasms. You deserve boudoir sessions and beautiful lingerie, even if it's just for yourself. That's probably why me and you connect so well, because we're not afraid to have these conversations with each other, and we want the people and the women who love us and who follow us to realize that they deserve it too.
Listen, somebody asked me, I have this necklace that I wear constantly, like it's my constant companion. And I had it made. I don't even like diamonds. I don't. But I had it made, and I remember, I'm spoiled. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just what I am. My parents love me. They love all of us. I feel like I'm the favorite, but that's neither here nor there. But like when I remember when I would say I went on a date, but it wasn't a date. He invited himself. But I was going to eat. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to eat. I'm going to do whatever. And I had to explain to him, I think I went to like Kate Spade. And I was like, I didn't get myself, my mom was saying she didn't get me anything for my birthday, because I'm very low key when it comes to those type of things. Like I like nice things, but if I see it, I'm going to buy it for myself because I feel like that's just what it is. And so I remember we were I was walking around. I was like, okay, and I called my mom and I was like, yeah, I saw this bag, and I said, I sent you a picture, and I remember it's been 1 or 2 guys, and I'm like, like your parents still give you gifts? I was like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, yes, of course. Yeah. Like I give gifts to my sisters all the time. That's what we do. And they were like, wow, like y'all too old for that. I was like, goodbye.
No such thing.
Goodbye.
No such thing as me being too old to receive gifts. Come on. Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't really a date.
No.
Because I feel that some people would have accepted that, or would have started to feel like a level of shame behind that. Like, oh, maybe I don't, need a gift. Maybe I am too old. Please don't get caught up on those kind of hangups. I think that people will do for you what you allow them to do, and what the expectation that you set for yourself, and the level that you decide that you are worthy of. That definitely, and the level that you're worthy of. And I don't think that it's anything wrong with expressing what you need from relationships. So that's a whole new thing. But
girl, we got time. We had to do for first live. That was for first live.
I think that so many women are afraid to speak up for what they want and what they're used to, and
Don't be.
Having that conversation about what that expectation is and who they are. And I
When
don't
I
think
tell
there's
you
any
don't
truth in it.
be, my friends laugh at me on
Mm-hmm.
a consistent basis because they're like, "You said that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I said that." Like, yes, I say things to these men because they need to understand. You have. This is what I always say. This is for me that I wish everyone would understand. It is a privilege to date you. It is a privilege to be in your presence. It is a privilege as a Black woman to be in your presence. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have this mindset that you know that you are a queen, you are an empress, because the empress is better than the queen. Empress is better than the queen. Check that out. It's history. Like when you know that, when you have that sense of yourself, you either have two men that will come to you or women, whoever, come to you. You'll have one that wants to challenge you because they feel like you feel like you're better than them. And when people tell me that, I'm like, that's between you and your therapist. It has nothing to do with me. That's a personal
Mm-hmm.
problem. Or you
Mm-hmm.
have the ones who will step up and will give you that respect that you know you deserve. And the other way I think about it is my ancestors, our ancestors, put in the work for us. So like
Yeah.
Jasmine was saying, you are not a mule because they put in the work for you. You need your reparations, sis. Like you need your reparations because they put in the work for you.
Yeah.
So because that work has already been done, your dues have been paid already. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've been paid. So all you have to do is collect.
Yeah.
Like collect. That's what I say. Like collect. If things for myself, which is why I love Megan Thee Stallion. Like I can buy the things that I want for myself, but if you're gonna buy them for me, then yeah, I'm gonna collect. Like what? Yes, give me all of it.
I think that you're right in that women, we just deserve more. And once we have the courage to speak up and set the standard, then we'll receive that. And anyone who is not interested will just fall by the wayside. And that's normally what it is.
Mhm.
I don't know if it always needs to be shouted. I think sometimes it can show up in your presence, in the way that
Yeah,
you carry yourself,
yes.
and what you surround yourself with, and the places that you go and the places you don't go, um, the place the places that you associate with, your people you associate with,
Definitely.
the businesses, the brands. I think all of that starts to sort of become you, right? And it starts to tell the story about who you are before you even open your mouth and say, I need some money. I think it kind
No,
of,
it's true.
sets a reputation. They look around and they're like, wow, she lives here, she drives that, she does this, she's only there, she eats organic. Like, do I measure up right now?
And
And
it's
I think
true.
that the people who don't will kind of fade themselves out. And the people who are for you, your tribe, will find you, and you'll continue to be enriched by them. Yes, the company you keep, yeah, the places you travel to. That's Amy, my travel girlfriend. We've been all over the world together. But it's a true testament, and I think just enjoying and embracing that side of you, the people will show themselves.
It's true.
It's
Like
not
you're
it's not a
right.
whole lot that has to be screamed, beyond that.
I think that is true. Like what is to be understood, you don't have to say anything.
Hmm.
Like you just don't. When people understand who you are and the way that you carry yourself, like having standards is different than having expectations. I don't have expectations, I just have standards of what I'm going to deal with and what I'm not going to deal with. And I think sometimes people get stuck in that space of, well, I have this expectation that you have to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, but do you do that for yourself?
Right. Yeah.
Do you really do
That
that
is
for
so
yourself?
true. So true. So
The
true.
right person will realize who you are by what you show them. Exactly.
Erica, you're 100% right. Yeah, and
Exactly.
you show yourself first, and you can even give yourself these experiences first, so they're not so surprising when someone wants to do them for you. So that's really, a lot of girls have asked me like about just choosing to have a different level in your life or
Mhm.
leveling up, those kind of things. I think it's really important for you to show yourself first, Take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
Even if you can't really afford it yet for yourself, even if you're young, get accustomed to going into Saks and trying on shoes, and get accustomed to what beautiful fabrics look like. Come into Cherry Blossom and slip on some satin and some silk. You know what I mean? It might be something that's aspirational for you, but eventually your taste level will be refined, and you'll be able to tell polyester from silk, right? Because of the way it touches your body. And you can say with confidence that you're a girl who wears silk and not a girl who wears polyester, and have that be a true fact. And and you know, start to level up in your life because of it. So I mean, there's just so much I could say around all of these points. I think that it's important to be in relationships that enrich you, of course, but also focus on knowledge, culture, experiences, classic books. Like, it's just a lot more that goes into just into having a leveled up life beyond just like having some money or having someone put money in your account.
Definitely.
It's more than that.
I believe that. I think travel lends itself to that as well, because you really learn to value the things that you have. Because for me, like, you don't buy me jewelry, buy me a trip. Like, let's go somewhere. Like, let's do something where we can get out and experience something, because that's something that you cannot buy ever again. Like, if you're able to go somewhere and have this experience with someone, I always say, you know, do solo travel if no one else is available. I love traveling by myself. It's just something for me, allows me to really do what I want and not have to worry about, well, you know, we said we were leaving at 12 and it is 12:15. Like, like that is horrible.
Yes.
And go to places that you know that you would never think to go. Or like your friends have never gone. Like, go to places outside of your comfort zone. Do your research first. Like, just do your research first. Let me say that. But go to places that, you know, you're like, I didn't even know Black people go here. Black people go everywhere.
Yes. And don't be afraid because you're Black to not go someplace.
Yeah.
Because I hear that a lot. Like, when I first wanted to start traveling, I had family members who'd be like, well, you know, they don't like Black people in Milan. You ain't never been to Milan. You don't know what they like. Stay over there.
Why you talk to your uncle like that? You ain't never been over there. You've never been.
But it's true. People will discourage you from things that they're afraid of doing themselves.
Oh my goodness.
Trips that they're too scared to take. I think a really great investment. So many people got these stimulus checks, right? A really great investment for your $1,200 is a passport and a round trip flight. You can buy trips real cheap right now for a year out. I'm sure we'll be out of the house, you know, in April of 2021. Book your flight and get ready to go and put it up on your vision board. Have a goal. Plan to take those days off of work or to just be out of office and just go experience something. And then when someone flirts with you in Milan, don't take it like as something that where you're afraid of it, right? Because, oh, I'm a Black girl. Maybe they're just trying to. No, embrace it. Like, you'd be surprised the people that other people like in other countries. And just go and enjoy. She was like, wait a minute, I said too much. I said too much. Let me bring it back. I said, I got the church folks on my let me pull it back. But go and experience the world and fall in love and try something. And if you don't like it, just, you know, that was the experience you didn't like. If it was someplace you didn't, you know, wasn't really good to you, okay, just make a note that that wasn't the right place for you at that time, and then just move on. Don't get stuck there, right? Don't get stuck in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Don't get stuck on the East Coast. Explore the world. Be kind to people. A smile is universal. Smile at them and be confident and open yourself up. You never know what the world may hold. Yeah, Erica is in the comments. Erica, you're going to get us in trouble. Erica said they love Black people in Milan, Black women in Milan, and that's true. In Italy, and they do love Black women in Italy.
But you know what's interesting? Even when I travel by myself, I am never alone because I always meet people. Like, when I went to Greece, I was sitting eating breakfast by myself, and a guy came up and sat down. And we started talking. I had to tell him about Black girl hair because he didn't understand. Like, I think or something. And we were talking, like we had a conversation, and I was giving him information that he didn't, like I had to give him certain terms. He was like, "What? How do you say?" And I was like, "Okay." But it was literally like just go out, because you will always meet someone. I've never gone by myself somewhere and I've been by myself unless I want to.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is. If I want to be by myself, then I can, because you give off that air of "don't talk to me, I'm not in the mood." But when you give off this energy of "I'm open to, speak to anyone," people always come up because they're curious.
Yes, 100%. And they view you as confident if you sit by
Yes.
yourself and eat, and you're not like twiddling in your phone and something. If you're just
Yes.
sitting there and eating, maybe you have a notebook with you. I used to say, like, if you put me in a new city by myself, I'm going to come home well fed and with new friends, because 100% of the time somebody will walk up to you. If you're sitting at a bar solo, be careful. But if you're sitting at a bar solo, 9 times out of 10, somebody will buy your meal and strike up a conversation with you. And then what you decide to do from there and who you meet from there is up to you. So it's just a lot of life that exists outside of our four walls. I can't wait until quarantine is over so we can all go out and explore. I hope that everyone that's been on this call will have different experiences going forward, and realizing that it's true. You are so valuable and so beautifully made, and embracing that is the first step to a really beautiful, beautiful life.
Listen, if you are, first of all, follow Secret Flying. I feel like it's Secret Flying. I follow them on Instagram. If you want to know about the trips to go on, I've seen well, usually a lot of them have been from New York. I saw New York to Barcelona for like under $300. And they're, of course they're out, till November.
Right.
But Secret Flying has trips everywhere for cheap right now. Like literally follow them on Instagram, look it up on just their website. But right now, I'm going to give y'all something to do if you are really having an issue with trying to figure out, how to embrace yourself and how to figure out what
I'm
you need
ready.
to do. You ready?
I'm ready.
First of all, you need to get a journal. I don't have I have like 5 journals. I'm at my parents' house because I wanted to eat during the quarantine.
Oh, nice.
So I came home because I was like, I have my own space, I have my own floor. I can chill out, and I downstairs when I'm hungry. But one of the things that I will say is, if you get a journal, or you can, do it on your phone. I like writing better because I feel like, and I know for a fact that when you write something down, it really allows your brain to process what you're writing. So write down, all the things you love about yourself. And when you do that, then I want you to really look in the mirror and get naked. That's it. Get naked. And really, talk to yourself about the things you love. Like, and what you said, giving gratitude to your body parts. So giving gratitude to, your hair, your face, your eyes, your hands, your stomach, like all of these parts of your body. And then especially those parts of your body that you're learning to love more. I say learning to love. I never say hate or flawed. I say learning to love, because what happens is your brain starts to process that this is a part of my body. I love this part of my body. So I'm going to start to give that love to myself. Yeah. Because a lot of us, I think we get into these spaces where we don't love ourselves. And so that, like you said, gets us in spaces where we don't make the best choices for ourselves in relationships, in friendships, just in life in general. So I think if you get in the mirror and start yourself, I love you, I love your hair, I love your eyes, I mean, it may seem, you may be like, girl, she got me talking to myself. I feel like I'm Issa Rae right now. Like, but it works. I'm telling you, it works. Like, if you start to have these conversations with yourself, like, I love you, I love your eyes, all these things, it really allows you to start to believe it. And you're not going anywhere.
Right. And
so
why not? I mean, who is there to be embarrassed about in front of? You're with yourself. You're with the person that you love the most, you care for the most, you want to protect. Just try that experience, that new experience for yourself. I love that. And I love writing in terms of gratitude, writing it down.
Yes.
It's so powerful. And reflect back on it. Go check it out in 6 months, in a year, and see how much you've grown.
Because you will.
Yeah.
You will grow. I think that's the whole point of this, of us being here, is that you will grow from this. Like, this is not a time, like when we first started the live, you were saying, you know, it is a time of depression. It's a time of a lot of things that are happening that are bad, but it's also a time for creativity. It's a time for growth. It's a time for us to really connect with ourselves. Like, I went on a walk. Yes, I have gone this. I don't even know when's the last time I went on a walk, like a walk midday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I see bees, I see flowers, I see like all these things that you take for granted because we are so conditioned to just work, 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 work.
Right. But we normally don't have the time to.